We are finally here, starting to scratch the surface of real programming and logic implementation. In this video, we will talk about conditional control structures. Oftentimes in programming, we need to perform an operation based on a particular condition. Let's say we need to show some particular content on the interface if user selected A, or provide a discount if user selected price that is greater than B, and etc. For such task, we can use an if construction. It looks like this. Let's see an example. I'm going to say if true, perform some action. So the way this works, whatever the value is here or an expression, an if construction will try to evaluate it and convert it to Boolean. And if it evaluates to true, it will perform actions in the curly braces here. Pretty simple. Let's see a more realistic example. I'm going to declare a variable, call it name, will be equal to John. And I'm going to say if name is John, I will alert something. Alert, hello John. Save, and let's see how this works in the browser. Refresh the page. Hello John, as expected. Great. So this is the syntax. However, in case if we need to perform a single operation, we can omit the curly braces. Let's see how this looks. Take them out. And I'm gonna put the statement, the alert statement on the same line, save. Go back and refresh, hello John, same result. Now, this does work. However, I would not recommend you do it this way because it impacts the readability of your code. It is always a better practice to use curly braces for if conditions. So I'm gonna put them back here. Save. Again, an if construction will perform a Boolean conversion of an expression in here, and if it evaluates to true, an action in here will be performed. We have already looked into type conversions in one of our previous videos, so if you need a refresher, feel free to come back and review it. A few examples would be that 0 will evaluate to false, empty string will evaluate to false, null will evaluate to false, and not a number will evaluate to false. Let's just see how this works. So now that I'm passing null in here as a parameter to the if condition, alert statement should not trigger. I'm going to save, go back to the browser and refresh. Nothing happens. However, on the other hand, positive integers like 1 will evaluate to true. Hello, John. Negative integers will evaluate to true as well. And non-empty strings will be truthy values too. Just save this. Hello, John. An if instruction may be followed by non-mandatory else block. Let's see how this works. I'm gonna bring back my previous condition. I'm going to say if name is John. I will alert hello John. Otherwise, I'm going to alert hello stranger. Now, if this value is John, this first condition will trigger. Otherwise, the second one will take place. Now that the value of our variable is John, let's see what the result of it is. Hello, John. This is the first alert statement in our condition. Second one does not trigger. Now I'm going to go back and change the value of this variable. I'm going to say hello, Jack. Or sorry, just replace this with Jack. Hello, stranger. Our program doesn't know about Jack. It only knows about John. Therefore, we're saying hello, stranger. Great. How about the case when we need to tell our program about multiple names that can be out there? Let's say I do want to support Jack. How would I do this? And if condition has a way to implement multiple conditional operators here. So I'm gonna just bring this down over here. And then JavaScript allows us to have multiple conditions. I can say else if name is equal to Jack. Then I can alert hello Jack. Bring this back to make it pretty. Save, refresh. Hello Jack. Our program now supports another name. However, if I were to go back and change this to maybe Chris, save, hello stranger. Sometimes we may want to use our if conditions for variable assignment. Let's say I have a website where I want to allow people that are 18 years old or older. And I'm going to declare a variable here. I'm going to say false, access not allowed. Now I will ask users their age. I'm going to say age, prompt, how old are you? And this is where it begins to be a lot of fun. We're actually interacting with the user and we're performing operations based on the user input. This is what the programming is all about. So I'm going to say, how old are you over here? Save this and add a couple conditions. I'm going to say if age is greater than 18, I will update the value of this variable to true. Or otherwise, I can keep it as false. And after this, I will alert the value of this variable. Save. Let's refresh. How old are you? Let's say I am 16. Okay. Access is not allowed. The value of it is false. Awesome. I will refresh again. How old are you? I'm going to say 29, which is my age. Okay. The access is allowed. Great. JavaScript offers us a shorthand for this assignment operation. There is this question mark operator or so-called ternary operator. And we can rewrite this condition in one line, basically. I could say access allowed is equal to age greater than 18, question mark, true, otherwise false. So this will do exactly same thing as before. It will evaluate condition here, and if it is truthy in here, it will return the value that goes after the question mark. Otherwise, it will return a value that's following the semicolon over here. So let's save this, refresh the browser, see how this works. How old are you? I'm 29. Access is allowed. How old are you? I am 15. Access is not allowed. Now, this is a very helpful shorthand, but I wouldn't recommend that you use it too much. It may impact the readability and the quality of your code. So I'm going to bring back the curly braces and just leave it there. Now, with all that information that I've given you, I have a couple questions for you. I'm going to bring this in. I want you to pause the video now and think about how this code is going to behave. Now, we discussed the type conversions before, and this is where that information really comes into play. Here you will need to think about how this value will convert to a Boolean type. And then the same thing applies to all other cases. So please pause the video here and think about which alert output is going to trigger and why, and then we'll discuss it together. Done? Awesome. Let's see which ones are going to trigger. Hello 1, hello 2, hello 3, hello 4 does not trigger. And I'm going to explain why that is. In this case over here, this is a non-empty string. We know that zeros evaluate to false. However, in this case, it is a string. It is not a number 0. It is not an empty string, and JavaScript will consider this a truthy value. Second case, -1. It is also going to convert to a Boolean true, since this is how integers convert to Booleans. Over here, this case, this is a little bit more complicated. Null is going to convert to false. However, over here, we're using an OR operator. And as we know from our operators tutorial, OR operator will try and execute each operand one by one, and it will return the first truthy one it faces. Therefore, the first truthy one and the last one in the expression will be the string false. Now, this is not a Boolean false. This is a string false, and string, which is not empty, therefore it will be a truthy value. Over here, an AND condition will try to make sure that both of its operands are truthy, and the second one is not. Therefore, this alert statement will not trigger. This condition will not be true. This will be a wrap for this tutorial. We'll see you in the next one.